Their technology is biogenetically engineered. It's superior to that of all their species we have previously encountered, from 7 of 9 of Voyager. In the Star Trek universe, one of the most dominant factions that was shown to us in the show is also one of the most interesting factions in my book besides the Borg, and that is species 8472, or also referred to as the Undine. In the past, I created a compare video comparing the Undine against another sci-fi faction called the Shadows. Both of these factions are similar, but I've been wanting to create a compare video comparing the Undine against another faction called the Galactic Empire, which is a common faction used on YouTube. There's been videos created about putting the Galactic Empire against the Borg or the Covenant Empire, but it would be interesting to see how they would survive against the Undine attack. In other videos, when they compare the Galactic Empire against another faction like the Borg, it's a common agreement that the Empire does have leaders that would be able to adapt to a dominant faction, and would be able to hold their own for a good period of time, which is the ability that the Borg does not have. If they cannot assimilate other factions or species, they will not be able to adapt well enough against their attacks, or not at all if their technology is more advanced, which we've seen before when the Borg had to face species 8472. In this compare video, we won't be going into great detail on which technology is more powerful, because it gets complicated after a while since we don't have all the information, especially from species 8472. So we will only be doing a surface level comparison when it comes to their technology and ships. In the Star Trek universe, organic ships are considered rare and is usually more advanced than other vessels. They're also considered rare in the Star Wars universe as well. The best example of organic technology in the Star Wars universe is a race called the Yuuzhan Vong. Their ships were considered advanced and unique compared to the other factions in the Star Wars universe. When it comes to the Empire, their ships are constructed by using raw materials, and it's run by a crew. It was stated that the Empire would have easier time fighting the Yuuzhan Vong since they would be able to gather their fleet at a quicker speed and attack the threat. At the height of the Galactic Empire, a majority of their attack force was made up of Imperial Star Destroyers. The vessel was constructed to crush any resistance against the Empire. It's a flying base with an array of powerful weapons, as well as assault troops, vehicles, and fighters. The vessel's biggest weakness is its maneuverability. The Undine, on the other hand, used bioships, which is operated by only one pilot. The energy weapon that's equipped on the vessel is extremely powerful. If a group of 90 of these vessels are united together, they're able to build up enough firepower to destroy an entire planet, while the Imperial Destroyer would only be able to destroy the surface of the planet. To completely eradicate a planet, the Empire would have to use a super laser on the Death Star. Sadly, this wouldn't be a complete advantage for the Empire against Undine, since they only have one Death Star. In this hypothetical scenario, the Empire comes across a terror in space in the outskirts of the Outer Rim. Recent reports indicate that any ships that enter into this anomaly disappears and never returns. The Empire sent a research team in hopes to use this new discovery to their advantage. After doing some investigation, they realized this terror in space is a gateway to another dimension. Within this dimension is a whole space filled with a form of organic fluid. Throughout their short journey of this new realm, there's no sign of stars or planets. The science unit set up a beacon at the entrance of the portal to help guide ships back to their own universe. The Imperial leadership became impatient with the results of the science group and ordered them to go deeper into this new universe. This became the Galactic Empire's undoing, since going deeper into this new universe would mean that they would eventually come across the Undine. Eventually, an Imperial vessel would come across the Undine. Unfortunately, the vessel was under the command of an inexperienced officer. The officer was afraid of the Undine bioship and ordered his ship to flee. The bioship followed the vessel, which resulted in the officer to command his ship to open fire on the Undine. In a matter of seconds, the bioship returned fire and destroyed the vessel. On the other side of the portal was a science station trying to get in contact with the Imperial vessel. Suddenly, the portal opened up and a unit of Undine bioships came through, attacking anything that moved, completely destroying the station. Luckily for the Empire, the science station was able to relay a message warning the command of their attack before they were destroyed. Since the portal was in the Outer Rim, none of the Empire's key planets were in danger, but the Undine attacks were getting closer and closer, which forced the Empire to gather a fleet in hopes to push back these unknown aliens. The fleet was able to track them down in the outskirts of Endor. The plan was to surround them and overwhelm the aliens before they'd be able to regroup. Sadly, the Empire was not expecting these alien vessels to be highly maneuverable and contain enough firepower to completely demolish a destroyer. The battle didn't even last an hour, and at the end, the fleet was completely destroyed and the Undine were victorious. The Emperor was not pleased with the Admiral's results and commanded Darth Vader to take control. He quickly realized he didn't have a lot of options. If they built a super weapon that can match the battleship's speed and power, the Empire would be destroyed before they can finish the device. If they sent a bigger fleet, the odds of them being victorious would be slim. The main issue is, even if they pushed back the unknown aliens, there's a chance that more battleships would exit out of the portal. This left Darth Vader with one choice: to take the fleet, including the new weapon called the Death Star, to the portal and destroy it. They would have to be cautious so the aliens would not know what they were doing. At the far reaches of the rim laid the portal, guarded by small units of battleships. Their sensors lighted up, showing incoming vessels. In a flash, the battleship was surrounded by destroyers. The battle was brutal, and many destroyers were obliterated. The Empire's vessels were acting as shields, giving the Death Star time to fire its lasers at the portal. At the last moment, the aliens realized what the Empire was doing and tried to destroy the Death Star, but they were too late. The super laser fired and collapsed the portal. Their victory didn't last long. The battleships were ripping through their vessels, and it was time for them to retreat. A portion of their fleet was able to escape, but right after the Death Star collapsed the portal, the battleships united together and destroyed the Death Star. Even though Darth Vader's plan worked, he still had to deal with a small group of battleships that are now stranded in their universe. He set forth a plan to slowly eliminate the aliens. The plan was to lure the ships into an area that was booby-trapped. They were lucky enough to destroy a few battleships by luring them into an asteroid field that was completely mined. After a while, the Undine realized that if they kept in this direction, they would eventually be destroyed, and any hopes of going back home would be eliminated. Their new plan was to hide in the shadows and take any equipment or information needed that would help them with their mission to get home. The Empire lost a lot of ships and were weakened by this war. In a result, the rebels used this moment to attack, which led to the collapse of the Empire. They did try to get their hands on a battleship in hopes to use the technology against the rebels, but their attempts were in vain. It's unknown if the Undine were able to get to their universe, and if they did, an invasion will be coming. In summary, the Undine would win. It would take the Empire too long to come up with a super weapon that could match against the battleship's ability, but their best hope would be to limit the quantity of the threat and destroy whatever is remaining. But the effort would eventually mean the end of their empire because they don't have enough resources to fight a faction like the Undine, or also referred to as Species 8472. What's your thoughts about the Empire surviving an attack from the Undine? I'm also curious to see what other factions do you want me to compare next. Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, then please like and subscribe. And don't forget to click on the notification button to keep yourself updated with my channel. If you enjoyed this video, then please check out these other two videos displayed on the screen. If you want more sci-fi content, then please check out my socials. Thank you for watching Utopian Broadcast, and I'll see you next time on my channel. Thank you.